Put your hands together for Greg Rahner. Thank you, Bob. Let's hear it for Bob. Let's hear it for all the comedians who came out tonight and did a nice job for you. So I want to welcome you to the assisted living portion of the show. Last month I did a show at an assisted living home. They tried to keep me. You know you're getting old when you know that sciatica is not a prison in upstate New York. You know you're getting old when you're attracted to a cougar's mother. Last year I had a mild stroke. I woke up that morning, I couldn't speak, and I was falling over. My wife didn't notice anything suspicious. My son visited me in the hospital. He said, "Dad, do you know who I am?" I said, "No, but why aren't you at work?" When they let me out of the hospital, they gave me a checklist of things I was allowed to do. I was allowed to walk, I was allowed to jog, I was allowed to have sex. Allowing me to have sex is kind of like allowing me to be a concert pianist. The next part of my act I like to call Nursery Rhymes for Seniors. Nursery Rhymes for Seniors. Jack and Jill are over the hill. They take their pills with water. Jack took a sip and broke his hip, and Jill called her daughter. Humpty Dumpty went to the mall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. He banged his knees and fell on his face. His lawyer says he's got a good case. Little Miss Muffet decided to rough it. She put her scooter away. She grabbed her walker and put it on her iPod and danced to Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. So I was watching TV last night. That ad comes on. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Yeah, they're in their early 30s and they still live at home. I hate these parents always bragging about their kids. My son's a doctor. My son's a lawyer. Oh yeah, my son's 33 years old and he loads the dishwasher all by himself. My son says he refuses to work for anyone else. So far, he's been very successful. He says he doesn't want to work in an office. He says people who work in an office get screwed. I told him I was thinking of converting his bedroom to an office. He asked me for career advice. I said, do what you love, do what you're good at. So he applied to Sleepy's. He asked me for dating advice. I said, son, you gotta find yourself a quality woman. He said, oh, you mean like mom? I said, you taping this? He bought me a book for my birthday, Dementia for Dummies. I can't find it. My oldest son just got married. Him and his wife honeymooned in Europe, Paris, Rome, Venice. My wife and I honeymooned in the Poconos, Scranton, Harrisburg, Allentown. So I'm a big football fan. What I like the most is watching the touchdown celebrations that the players do. I thought to myself, what would it be like if a comedian celebrated his jokes the way a football player celebrated his touchdown? Here's my favorite. So I've been married for 40 years. I still remember the night that she proposed. I should have got suspicious when I asked my father-in-law for my wife's hand in marriage, he offered me a signing bonus. When we got married, my grandparents had been married for 52 years. So at the wedding reception, my grandfather pulled me aside and said, "The first 52 years are the toughest." My grandmother overheard him and said, "Oh yeah, wait till you see the next 52. Our wedding song was "Color My World" by Chicago. Now our song is "No, You're Never Gonna Get It." I noticed after we got married, my wife's attitude towards my jokes changed a little bit. It was a very, very subtle change. It went from, "You are so, so funny," to, "What are you, a moron?" To keep the romance alive, my wife and I go for long walks on the beach. She goes on Tuesday, I go on Friday. So my wife and I are at the movies, and there's one scene where this man's on the couch. He's about to get stabbed in the back. I'm on the edge of my seat. My heart is pounding a mile a minute. My wife leans over and says to me, "Wouldn't that couch look great in our living room?" My wife and I have issues. She hates the word issues. She also hates the words cellulite, prima donna, high maintenance, and stark raving lunatic. My wife asked me if I think she's high maintenance. I said, "Of course not, dear. The word maintenance means to preserve and keep something in its existing state. I would put you more in the renovation category." My wife's not here tonight. The other night, she asked me, "Does this dress make my ass look fat?" I said, "How about those jets?" My wife said she wanted to get cosmetic surgery so she would look drop dead gorgeous. I said, "Over my dead body." She said, "Deal." I read somewhere that 3 out of 4 divorces after the age of 50 are filed by women. Why can't my wife show more initiative? My wife said, without her, I don't have an act. I said, without you, I don't need an act. We have an expensive security system in our house, but I never use it because the person who's stealing all my money is already inside. My wife and I have sex occasionally, and when we're done, we take a penny and throw in this big jar in the kitchen. So this past summer, I get home from work one night, and I notice that our grass has been cut by our lawn service. I go in the house, I go in the kitchen, I look at the big jar. There were pesos in there. Lots of them. Even pumping gas reminds me of sex. I don't get the mileage I used to, and it's costing me a hell of a lot more. My wife and I went into Manhattan for a weekend getaway. Before we left, I said, for this weekend, let's pretend we're not married. Let's have a good time. So the first night, she's in bed reading, I'm in taking a shower in the bathroom. Come out of the bathroom, I pop between the sheets naked, looking for some booty tang. She says to me, I'm sorry, I cannot and will not cheat on my husband. The second night, she was wearing tight panties that said East Hampton on them. East on the left cheek, Hampton on the right cheek. But I was more focused on her Santa Mauritius. My wife and I are experimenting with new positions. Her favorite is the one where she's in bed on her back, and I'm on the couch. My motto in bed used to be wham, bam, thank you, man. Now, it's if you see something, say something. My wife likes it rough. So during sex, I yell out difficult math problems. Square root of 2 times pi. Harder! Square root of 3 divided by infinity. Harder! She looks at the clock on the nightstand and says, time's up. Pencils down. Thank you very much. My name is Rahner.